Well, as the last speaker, I shouldn't take too much of your time. But dear Manfred, dear Ursula, dear Roberta, dear Alberto, dear colleagues of the European Council, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, thank you to our Spanish colleagues for putting together this amazing Congress. And Manfred, it is always easier to organize a successful Congress if you emerge victorious out of a European election, as we have done last year. And it's a great privilege to address this Congress today, not just as a Prime Minister of Greece, but also as a committed European, a proud member of the largest, most successful, most stable political family in Europe, the European People's Party. And as many of the other speakers have said, we've gathered here in Valencia at times of uncertainty and disruption. And I think that it is during these times that the stability that the EPP offers becomes so much more important. And of course, the same is also true of the party I have the honor to lead, Nea Dimokratia, New Democracy, the pillar of political stability and the generator of economic prosperity for my country, Greece. I think we should all be quite proud of what we have achieved over the past years. We should be proud about the fact that we have strengthened our presence in the European Council. We should be proud about the fact that we have re-elected Ursula as head of the Commission. We should be proud of our agenda. But of course, with this success comes responsibility. And we are now at the crossroads of tectonic geopolitical and economic realignments. And our citizens expect from us true leadership in these times of unprecedented polycrisis. And let me quickly focus on three issues which I believe should be at the top of our agenda. First of all, as many of my colleagues have already pointed out, our highest priority, our absolutely number one priority needs to be to restore and enhance the competitiveness of our economies. And we must face the ugly truth that in the past we have made concessions, we have occasionally settled for less, and now we risk falling behind as our competitors move ahead at speed. We must act now. Europe must stop being a factory of new rules and start being a factory of growth. And that means that we have to pick our regulatory battles wisely, and we have to implement real change when driving reforms. I very much welcome the initiatives of Ursula regarding the new omnibus legislation, simplifying regulation across the European Union. Reforms do deliver prosperity. Take the example of my country, Greece. We have undergone a profound transformation. We were the poster child of the crisis 10 years ago, and now we are a country that ranks amongst the fastest growing economies in Europe. Fiscally responsible. We just delivered a primary surplus of 4.5% for the fiscal year of 2024. And this is a clear example, ladies and gentlemen, that reforms, amongst them, very important for Greece, tackling tax evasion, creating fiscal space, when pursued with determination and vision, they deliver real results. Reforms do deliver prosperity. We speak a lot about Europe's assistance in driving European growth, but we should not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that the difficult reforms that we need to implement to enhance our competitiveness will be fought in our capitals. These are local battles. Brussels is not going to fight them for us. We need to deliver the reforms locally, we need to fight the populists locally, and we need to project a different vision for an inclusive growth that will leave nobody behind. We, of course, welcome the Draghi report We have to move quickly in accepting its recommendations. And I would like to focus on two issues of particular importance, which are highlighted in the Draghi report. The first is a fully functioning capital markets union, a savings and investment union. We have spoken too long about this priority. It is an absolute priority if we want to strengthen European competitiveness. And the second priority, which was highlighted tragically with what happened in Spain, in Portugal, over the past 48 hours, is the need for a more integrated electricity market. Grids are European public goods, and they need to be financed as such. And this, again, is an absolute priority to enhance our competitiveness, but also to ensure our energy safety and stability of our energy systems. My second point, made by many of our colleagues, as the geopolitical tectonic plates are moving, peace in our continent, unfortunately, can no longer be taken for granted. It's the foundation upon which prosperity is built, and we must be prepared to defend our values, but also we must be prepared to deter aggression. We have always been, as Greece, a firm supporter of Europe's strategic autonomy within the confines of NATO. We have been doing that for years. Greece has been spending more than 2% of its GDP on defense, even during the difficult years of the debt crisis. We are now spending more than 3% of our GDP on defense. We will commit 25 billion euros over the next 12 years to implement the most drastic transformation in the history of our armed forces. And of course, we welcome the initiatives of the Commission, the creation of additional fiscal space. We have implemented the national escape clause in order to spend more and more wisely on defense. But we also need to create an integrated European defense market for our defense industries. And we need to be careful when we forge strategic partnerships with non-EU actors. Such partnerships must take into account and safeguard the security and defense interests of all member states. At the end of the day, the purpose is to reduce dependencies rather than to perpetuate them or create new ones. We have enough industrial capability in Europe to succeed in covering most of our needs through European companies. My third brief observation is that while we strengthen our defense, we must also seize the opportunities of a rapidly changing world. A great geopolitical realignment is taking place. New powers are emerging. Global supply chains are shifting. And this creates a unique opportunity for Europe to engage with the global South, with the Mercosur, to implement new trade agreements, to forge partnerships with players who value access to our markets, but who also value our rules, who recognize the importance of mutual respect, cooperation, and shared prosperity. India is a key player in this respect, and I very much welcome the decision by Ursula to visit with a College of Commissioners the Indian capital to signify the importance of this strategic partnership that we are building. And Greece, thanks to its geostrategic position, is at the gateway of India to the European Union, and we stand ready to implement projects connected to the India-Middle East-Europe economic corridor, truly transformative project that can reshape global trade routes, a tremendous economic, geopolitical opportunity. Finally, a quick word on our relationship with our transatlantic partner. I am a firm believer that the transatlantic bond between Europe and the United States is simply too big and too important to fail. It is, despite the turbulences, and we've had turbulences in our relationships also in past decades, it is simply, it has been the cornerstone of peace, democracy, and prosperity. And the only way to manage this relationship on the basis of an equal footing is for us to become stronger and more autonomous. And this is exactly what the agenda for the next 5 years needs to be. Our relationship with the United States is important, it is indispensable, and this transatlantic relationship must evolve, but we need to approach it from a position of strength and a position of confidence. So, dear colleagues, let me conclude by saying again a big thank you to our Spanish hosts for organizing this amazing Congress, by repeating the fundamental belief that in times of crisis, our European citizens will seek political stability and economic prosperity. And right now, the only political family that can deliver on these important goods is our united political family, the European People Party. Thank you very much.